What's up, man? I'm gonna do this live before the next fight come on. I think Jared Hurd coming up next, but man, I looked at the Adonis Stevenson fight, man. I think Adonis Stevenson should go ahead and retire, man. Because watching that fight, I can't I can't pronounce the guy name who he fought. It was a European fighter, but the guy had what 15, I believe he had 15 fights and 12 knockouts. And judging from what I seen with Adonis Stevenson, man, he couldn't really pull a trigger. He really wasn't pulling the trigger like he usually do in his other fights. And yes, he was landing his left hand, but he wasn't landing it enough. He wasn't. It was right there for him to throw it. Now the one time that he really unleashed it in round 10, I believe that was 10, 9 or 10, he knocked the guy up against the ropes. He almost knocked the guy out, almost knocked that guy out, but he bounced off the ropes and he was able to, recover. And he actually had Adonis Stevenson bagging up in the last, 40 seconds of that fight. But see, this is the problem with Adonis Stevenson. Now, yeah, he is older, and I thought that fight with Badu Jack, I think that was a telltale sign of it's probably about time to hang it up. Usually fighters get a sign before they get knocked out the way he did or lose the way he did. They get a sign the fight, usually a couple fights or a fight before, and they want to go on because up until that moment Stevenson hasn't had wasn't. I don't think he suffered a defeat in what, like a little while. It's been a little while, so he wanted to go on. But I thought that Badu Jack fight showed me a lot because he really couldn't pull the trigger in that fight either. You know what I'm saying? He got tired in that fight. I really never seen Adonis Stevenson get tired like that, and he was just hanging on in the last couple rounds of that fight. And same thing with Roy Jones when the fight before he got knocked out by Antonio Tarver. That first fight, he went tooth and nail with Antonio Tarver, and it was sometimes in that fight he really couldn't pull the trigger. But I believe two parts were that was wrong with that happened to Roy Jones. Number one, he came down from heavyweight too soon to fight Tarver, and number two, he was like 35, 36 years old. So he was on the wrong side of 30. And when you start getting up there in age like that, man, each fight, is more and more deterioration. Each training camp, you deteriorate more and more. Because you put out more actually in training camp do you do actually in the fight, getting ready for the fight. So Adonis Stevenson, in his last couple of fights, he looked like he's been holding a lot of water. Like I believe if you dig a little deeper, that he was having trouble making weight because he looks a little bit more. I'm not. He not fat, but not as his body is not as tight as it used to be. You know what I'm saying? So when you get older, you hold a little bit more water than when you were younger, and that's what it looked like. Then that probably can explain why he was getting tired his last couple fights. In this fight, he looked like he was tired. You know what I'm saying? And that can have some effect of him being able to pull the trigger, and that can have some effect on him being able to let his hands go because he's probably worried that he doesn't have enough stamina to last the whole fight. So therefore, your game plan change and your offensive input changes. And that guy right there was young. I don't know how old he was, but he was hungry. Fresh and I'm gonna say fresh and hungry, and he caught. See, he did catch Stevenson in round. Was that round 9? No, 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 no. At the end of round 10, he caught Stevenson. And then the round he knocked him out in, he caught him again, but this time he followed up on it. And he was throwing combinations, and he hit Stevenson with just about every punch. And then Stevenson went back to the ropes. Then he caught Stevenson with another powerful power punch, and it was curtains. Stevenson was down for a little while. He got up. He seemed to be okay, but that's to me that's a sign of it's time to go. Because Stevenson, his career peaked when he knocked out Chad Dawson in the first round. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, he should have fought Bernard Hopkins, but didn't fight Bernard Hopkins. Him and Kovalev should have fought, but he didn't fight Kovalev. And then it seemed like he went on the shelf for a little while. You know what I'm saying? I think he went on the shelf for like almost 2 years, and you just can't do that, especially that late in your career. Yes, so yeah, you can say rest is good, but not 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Not almost 2 years, and then he'll come back, he'll fight, and then he's off for another year. Then he'll come back, he'll fight, and he's off for another year. So I just thought Father Time just caught up with Superman and Adonis Stevenson. Man, he had a great career though. You know what I'm saying? He that left hand was devastating. Probably the most prolific left hand in the last what 15, 20 years, next to Pacquiao left hand. So the man had a great career. I hope he hang it up. I mean, if you want to have if he don't want to go out like that, he can fight some, C level fighter in Canada, and you know what I'm saying, go out, a winner in front of his crowd. But as far as him fighting the upper echelon, part of the top tier of light heavyweights, that's over, because there's too many dogs up there now, and there's too many, and they're hungry, they're young. And if he's not gonna fight for his belt again, if he's not gonna fight that guy for his belt again, which if I was him, I'd stay away from that guy, because the second fight is going to be worse, because now the guy's going to have way more confidence because he knocked you out. You know what I'm saying? And you will be coming mentally, you're going to be behind the eight ball. And physically you're behind the eight ball because you got a lot of miles. So, big up to Adonis Stevenson, man. The man gave us some great knockout reels. He got some great knockout highlights, man. And I take my hat off to him. But, all good things must come to an end, man. Especially in boxing, you have to really really watch it, because it's not basketball, it's not football, it's not tennis. You can get hurt, and you can get permanently hurt if you trying to fight and stay in there and fight just to hang around. So hope the people around him. I heard his trainer in the corner telling him, to throw his punches and do this and do that. So to me, it seemed like he just had a problem of being old and can't pull a trigger. You know what I'm saying? Because the guy really was. I know Teddy Atlas was trying to tell the guy to come in on angles, don't come in the front door, but the guy was really standing in front of Donna Stevenson a lot. Like, he was standing in front of him a lot, and usually 3, 4 years ago, Donna Stevenson would have been letting that left hand go and probably would have caught him earlier. You know what I'm saying? Earlier in the fight. But that's how it goes when you get older. You know what I'm saying? You can't. I mean, your power is still there. You seen that he still had the power. It's just he can't pull the trigger when he wants to pull the trigger, and that's a sign of old age. So that means it's time to go. It's time to retire. Pretty sure Don Stevenson got have made a lot of money, and I'm pretty sure hopefully he invest his money, and he can lead the sport without having to hang on for money. That's the worst thing a fighter can do: hang on just to make money. But I'm gonna get out of here, man. I'm gonna get ready for this Jared Hurd fight, because y'all know Jared Hurd is always in a nice, exciting fight. The guy he's fighting is from the UK. I don't know much about the guy. Can't pretend to know what he's gonna bring, but hopefully, he brings a good fight. I'm out, y'all. Thanks for coming, y'all.